Hey guys, okay, so in this short video I want to go through a few of the points regarding my DSLR, the Nikon D3300 camera that I have. This was the camera that I've been using for most of my videos, and particularly for vlogging, not actually for photography, which is like, totally most people buy it for photography and so forth. It does an excellent job at photography, definitely, but in terms of videography, there were some challenges that I had, and maybe I want to talk a little bit about the challenges that I had with the DSLR. Firstly, for vlogging, and this is particularly for vlogging. With this DSLR, it does have an excellent camera system, a lens system, which does an excellent job at focusing. But the challenge here is that the continuous focusing is actually very loud, and so it's loud enough for you to be able to hear it. And not just that, but it actually takes a while to focus. So what you would see is like I don't know if you ever see, it moves in and it moves out, moves in and moves out a few times, like maybe 2 or 3 times, which is, in the grand scale of things, not bad, but it's definitely not the most perfect conditions. And so that was one of the challenges that I had with the DSLR system. And the other challenge I had was of most people recommend the Canon, where you can have the flip screen so that you can actually see what you are saying, what you're recording while you are talking and speaking and so forth. And this didn't come with that. So one of the challenges that I had was not just during speech and talking to the camera, but actually making sure that I am in focus, maybe centered, or not necessarily centered, but within the zoom and so forth, because this isn't really zooming. And so that was another challenge that I had with the D3300. Is it a good camera for photography? I would say yes. In majority of things, I know it's one of the low-end cameras, but especially for someone who's new, intermediate, this camera does a fairly decent job. For newbies, what you will enjoy is the VR itself. The VR lenses avoid vibration. It reduces vibration, not avoids it completely. But for newbies who now taking photos, like sometimes you take a shot, and then when you're taking the shot, you move ever so slightly, and then the camera photo itself, that the picture that you take out, is a little bit blurred or out of focus. Well, this VR technology sort of helps you with that, until you become more professional and you can switch off the VR and so forth. So that's definitely one of the good things. The lens that came with it, this VR lens, the 18 to 55 millimeter lens, does a really good job at focusing on objects. Light wise, excellent job as well. Light wise, the 200 millimeter VR lens that I had, I didn't really enjoy it. You had to be mostly outside to use this properly, to get as much brightness without getting noise and so forth. Pretty good for like taking shots of birds, but definitely you would have to edit it, I believe. It's just the lighting was not as good as the 18 to 55 millimeter lens. Battery life is another challenge, and when I was doing vlogging, particularly videos, battery life was like maybe 15 to 30 minutes per battery, which is like no time when you make a mistake. And for those of you who are out there that makes a lot of mistakes and have to do a lot of editing, obviously I don't do that much editing, but if you have to do a lot of editing, you're gonna have to be switching the battery a lot. What I did like though about the Canon was that the battery is accessible even when it's mounted on top of a mount, so that you can actually access the battery. And why I also bought this Nikon, is because of the external mic. You could actually put in the external mic. So the external mic obviously gives you a little bit better quality, and so that was one of the reasons why I used the actual Nikon. But again, overall, it's pretty decent. More better for photography than for videography. Would I recommend it? If you're really desperate, I guess I guess you could use it for vlogging, but of course it's heavy as well. I mean, it's not heavier than other DSLRs, but it's going to be heavy when you have to move this thing around as well. And so in order to get even, you know, smooth footage, you probably have to buy a fairly expensive gimbal to get, you know, smooth footage, less vibration and that kind of thing. So would I recommend it? Only if desperate. I think you should probably go with it, or if it's still, you know, video, like perhaps if it's like interviewing stuff where the camera is directly on the person and you could focus on that person beforehand, which manual focus, then it will work, but definitely not for otherwise. So I think these are what the majority of people are not really saying on YouTube. So I hope that you don't take this as this camera has been entirely bad. It's not entirely bad. It's actually it's my first DSLR camera, and so far these are the complaints only based on vlogging, not on photography. Alright guys, so I hope that you enjoyed this commentary review of the Nikon DSLR D3300 camera. I think this would apply to the majority of Nikon cameras out there, so keep that in mind if you're gonna look for something to vlog with. So guys, thanks again. Please like this video so that it helps out someone else, because by liking it, it reaches out on YouTube more and more people could actually get, you know, this opinion, and maybe you might save them some money. So do a good thing. Like it. Please subscribe to my channel for more reviews. I don't just review cameras, I review technology. I make tutorials and so forth on all sorts of different technology gadgets. I also do drone photography as well on this channel. So there's so much content that will be out, and hopefully you'll enjoy. I'm on the island of Trinidad and Tobago, so most of the content is in the Caribbean. Sometimes I go to other islands and so forth where you will see some reviews as well too. Alright guys, so thanks so much, and see you guys again soon. Bye bye.